Hey, welcome back to Sten Reacts as we go back inside the bourbon bar. You know, nothing quite goes together like a fine whiskey, especially in a charred oak tumbler, and politics. A recent poll in Rhode Island in mid-May showed that Helena Fox, one of the announced candidates for governor on the Democrat side, was polling only at 6% against the incumbent governor McKee, 25%, and another challenger, Secretary of State Nellie Gorbea, 23%. This shows the challenge that new candidates into the political system face, name recognition. Same thing with the Republican candidate, Ashley Kayla. While she won't have as much competition in her primary, they both have name recognition issues. So both of them, not surprisingly, were the first to put out basically branding advertisements, the first TV ads of the year in 2022 for the Rhode Island gubernatorial race. So today we're going to look at both of those ads, both of which are designed to be branding ads to introduce yourselves to the candidate. So let's start with the Democrat side, Helena Fox. Her ad is called Big Things. That's her theme. Let's take a look.
I'm Helena Fox, running for governor. Here's my story. I was born and raised in Providence, the oldest of 5 kids in a big family.
Now, right off the bat, it seems a little rushed. You know, we only have a minute for these ads to fit a TV time slot. Candidates have a lot to say, and they don't, and it's hard for them to get it in to a minute. So obviously, Helena Fox has a lot to say here, and she's definitely rushing to get it all in.
And after college and business school, my husband Bill and I chose to raise our children here. I started mid-level at CBS, worked my way up, rising through the ranks, holding nearly every leadership position. I learned how to get big things done.
All right, again, the theme, big things, but what she does well here, she establishes competency. I have a outstanding business background, one of my qualifications to be your governor. Good job with that.
Helena Fox. Fortune magazine called her the change agent inside CVS.
I had 4 kids in 4.5 years, and when our youngest was 1, I got thyroid cancer. The nurses, doctors, and my boss at work helped so much, and after a few months, I got back on my feet.
All right, so here she shifts a little bit, goes to the empathy, tells you about her family. She's a mom in addition to being a professional, and she should be respected and congratulated, obviously, for her defeat of cancer.
We need leadership who understands how to get our state back on its feet. I've got a plan to transform public education, create a clean, green economy, build affordable housing, protect a woman's right to choose, and a tax cut for the middle class. I'm Helena.
All right, so she talks about issues that are important to her. What I'm surprised about here, and what I think might be a mistake, because remember, these ads are meant to introduce you to appeal as to a broader swath across the entire political spectrum as possible. But right away, she takes kind of hard left positions, bringing up affordable housing, green energy, women's right to choose, middle class tax cut. Basically leaving open the question to me, does that mean you're for tax the rich? So I don't think this ad is going to fly well with conservative leaning moderates. Certainly not many Republicans are going to react well to this. She may not need any Republicans, but again, she's already branding herself. She is in a Democratic primary. Let's keep that in mind. So she is going to have to swing a little bit left to appeal to them, but I'm surprised she does so strongly in her very first ad. Let's finish up.
Folks, let's get big things done for Rhode Island.
So again, the big things ad, you see, theme again, she stresses that well. Listen, this is a pretty good produced ad. Like I said, a lot of very rushed, tried to get maybe a little bit too much in. It wasn't very relaxed feel to it, but she does display her competency and her empathy, if you would. All right, let's switch over and let's look at the ad by Ashley Kayla. Now, she's new to the political scene in Rhode Island. Also, she's also relatively new, moving back to Rhode Island only within the past year to run after spending time in the Midwest. So let's look at Ashley Kayla's ad called Better Tomorrow.
For a lot of families, every day in Rhode Island feels like it's getting harder to make ends meet. We're getting killed at the gas pumps, food prices are soaring, it costs more to heat our home, and the dream of owning a home is out of reach for many.
All right, so right away, a little bit more of a relaxed feel. Again, a lot of information here, touching on a lot of issues that I think will appeal to all Rhode Islanders.
Income is not keeping up with inflation. And as a mom of 3 school-aged boys, I understand these struggles. It is time to level the playing field.
All right, so like Folk, she establishes a little empathy there as a mom with children.
The days of I know a guy are over. It works for the insiders, but it doesn't work for you. Rhode Island needs a fighter. Now more than...
All right, so the insider thing, the crony thing, we all know that's a problem in this state. I know a guy, that's a great, great line for her to use right there.
Ever. And I'll fight to make Rhode Island a more affordable place to live, work, and raise a family. I will fight for parental involvement in education, and I will fight to end the scourge of addiction and to keep our neighborhoods safe.
All right, interesting, that fight. You know, I don't like that term fight as a candidate. It's very trite, overused. But in Ashley Kayla's case, you might not know, but she was a former, when she was younger, she was a Golden Glove boxing champion, I believe in Massachusetts, where she grew up as a youngster. So the term definitely is not so trite to her. I just think it's overused. I'm not sure how effective it is.
I believe in our unlimited potential, and before us is the challenge of the next half century. We need a leader with gigantic aspirations, an agenda so bold, we will tap into every Rhode Islander's hopes and dreams. This is the time right now that we will write the greatest chapter in Rhode Island's history. My name is Ashley.
An agenda so bold, the greatest chapter. Wow, those are big aspirations. She's setting the bar high. Of course, we're not going to know what that agenda is, that bold agenda right now, but in future analysis I'll be doing on this channel, she's going to have to live up to that high bar she sets. Let's finish up.
And I invite you to join this movement. For a lot of...
All right, so finish it again. I think that was a very, very well professionally produced advertisement, maybe a little bit of an edge over the Helena Fox ad. One thing you might have noticed, though, is that down at the bottom, Ashley Kayla released her ad in late April, and Helena Fox just in mid-May, just a couple of weeks later. 1,625 views for the Democrat Folks, only 626 views for the Republican Kayla with an extra 2 weeks time. So if that indicates excitement level about the two, and in a heavy Democrat state like Rhode Island, you might expect that. Listen, both were vague on their policies, as they should be introductory. Again, I was a little surprised that folks took such left-wing positions. I was a little surprised that Kayla didn't talk about her professional competency. You saw nothing about competency in this particular ad. Hopefully she'll address that in future ads. I thought Kayla's ad was a little better produced. I do think both women, in this case women, and there are men in the race, and we'll get to their ads when they come out, did a good job representing themselves in an upbeat, professional way, optimism, talking about issues that are important to Rhode Islanders. We'll see how the other ads compare from the other gubernatorial candidates coming up in the future weeks and months. I thank you for tuning in today. From inside the Bourbon Bar, Sten Reacts. Remember, you can send a tip to oceanstatecurrent.com/tips, and you couldn't put in a tip. Give us a link or a statement from a candidate, and we'll consider analyzing it on Sten Reacts. Thanks for tuning in. Good day.